everyone, and happy holidays. It is the last month of 2020. I don't know if that's like something sad for you or something that you actually look forward to, but I think we should all choose the latter because I am sure that we have a lot of things to be thankful for despite everything that's happened in 2020. And we have to remain optimistic with 2021 because I am sure that, well, more like I'm claiming it, that 2021 great things, better things will happen. It's been a crazy year for all of us, but there's an amazing woman who taught us to always find the silver lining in everything. And I am so pleased to finally welcome her back home from Colombia. I'm sure she has a lot of stories to unpack and share with all of us today. So, hello, Kat!
Hi, Nick!
Kala mo hindi nakikita ba natin?
Oo nga eh.
But you look amazing. Parang hindi ka jet lag at all.
Oo nga, walang trace of jet lag na. Thank you, Lord.
Fresh na fresh.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy to be home though. I think like what you said with 2020, I really wasn't expecting to have this opportunity to work for Smile Train on an international level this year with how everything played out. So when my Colombia trip was able to fall together, I was so excited, and it also gave me a lot of joy to be able, in a way, to through my platforms bring you all with me.
Yeah.
So yun.
And ang dami naming nakaabang sa mga pasabog mo that were really unexpected, especially for the fans, because it's the pandemic, there's COVID, but you still manage in classic Catriona Gray style to have a lot of pasabog in store for us. And at the same time, highlighting the cause pa rin, which was the heart of your trip talaga to Colombia. So I
Yeah.
learned from you from our last interview when we sent you off virtually that all over the world, 540 babies are born each day with cleft.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
whether or not there's like a calamity or a pandemic, we can't stop this from happening. But the
Mhm.
wonderful thing is, which you will tell us more about today, is we can actually do something about it kung naagapan
Yes.
natin siya at its early stage. That's
Mhm.
why disseminating information is really valuable. So, can you share more information with us today on how we can help?
Yes, so I think a lot of people were wondering what's the point in pushing the cause of cleft and treating cleft in amidst the pandemic, and you like touched on that. It's because babies are continuing to be born with cleft, and when cleft goes untreated, either in the lip and the palate, the child has difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, difficulty eating, and of course, as they grow older, it's not only problems with speech, but also with confidence. And you can imagine, I mean, even in both of our professions, being able to smile with confidence is a big thing for us. It allows us to feel our best. It even allows us to build friendships because, that's the beginning of a relationship, is a smile. And to think that children are being born all around the world that just don't have that confidence, it really is something that it breaks your heart, because when you're a kid, you just want to belong, you want to have friends, you want to feel loved. And when you feel different, or you feel like you're not like the other kids, and then you have on top of that the added health challenges and things to overcome, you can just imagine the plight of not only to the child but their parents and their community. When there is no partner present, it can feel like, what do we do about this? If we're not financially able, how do we go about this? And that's the beauty of the work that Smile Train does. And that's why putting out this message was so important, because one of the biggest things is that Smile Train operates in over 90 countries all around the world. Mm-hmm. So chances are, wherever you're watching this broadcast from, Smile Train is operating in your country. And they offer their care for cleft, that's including surgery, speech therapy, orthodontics, and other comprehensive care that that child may need, for free. So it's something that allows families to feel that relief and to have that care. But usually the thing standing between the family or the child getting the care from Smile Train is the awareness that Smile Train actually offers that free service. And so the biggest thing that we could do, even amidst the pandemic, and that's just using our social circles, whether that be within our community, our workplace, with our peers, or even on social media, to just get the word out there that Smile Train is operating in over 90 countries and that their care is free. So if there's a child that you may know, that your neighbor knows, that your family knows that has cleft that's untreated, please help us in referring them to Smile Train and they can get the care that they need.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Kat. I'm sure that that in itself already fills in the information gap that we really want to fill in. And now I would like to ask you, because you are Smile Train's global ambassador and you're so passionate about it, but I'm wondering lang, when was your first encounter with Smile Train and how come this advocacy became so close to your heart?
I think I've always had a weak spot for children's causes. That's really where my volunteer work and my advocacy work started, was with children. And so I also understand the challenges that children go through, whether they don't have access to certain opportunities or they're not given the proper things that they need to grow and to flourish. And so when I was introduced to Smile Train, I already knew about Smile Train, but I wasn't actively working with them until I was reigning as Miss Universe in New York. And I was able to visit the headquarters. And the more that I learned about their system and the way that they operate, I was really in awe, because I really believe in their system. They don't, and it was probably this that really hooked me, is that they don't send their doctors on mission trips. So that when the doctor leaves that place, the work stops. And it's actually better because those practitioners, those speech therapists, those their dentists, they're all based within the community so that they can properly service the community. And I think that creates that connection, that they know exactly how to communicate with their community and service their patients in a way that they really need. And that's why I believe in Smile Train so much. And it's not just the surgery that they cater to as well. I don't think a lot of people know, but when cleft is treated, it's not just the initial surgery and then it's done. There is a whole process of going through different therapies like speech therapy, orthodontics, even workshops to build a child's confidence. So it's a really comprehensive plan, and Smile Train is there for their patients every step of the way. And that's why I believe in their cause so much. And that's why I'm so proud to be an ambassador of them, because I really do believe in the work that they do.
Wow, thank you so much for enlightening us with the very holistic solution and localized
Mm-mm.
pala for Smile Train,
Yes.
lalo na since it's a global issue, you know.
Mm-mm.
Nobody really escapes it, whether or not in whichever country you're residing in. So,
Exactly.
as Smile Train's global ambassador, finally you got to actually travel
Mm-hmm.
and see what's happening in another country, this time particularly in Colombia. So we
Mm-hmm.
saw your posts, like you did house to house visits in Barranquilla. Wow, Spanish in Barranquilla.
Ang galing mo dyan.
Yeah. So you met the moms as well as their children. So kasi nung nag-interview tayo before you went there, you kind of had like a local perspective of how cleft affects yung mga Filipino children. But this time in
Mm-hmm.
Colombia, is it any different? Did it give you like a different dimension to the problem
Mm-hmm.
that we are facing right now?
Yeah, I love being able to visit the families. We actually had the opportunity to meet three. And one of the children had already been operated for the cleft lip and was booked to get the cleft palate surgery later on
How old
next
was
year.
this one? How old
I
was
think he was
he?
only around 9 months old.
Oh, okay.
The earlier it's done, it's the better, because the bones have not yet formed yet. It's easier to
Mm,
heal and it's able to be addressed quickly. Because one
yeah.
of the things that plays a major role in the success or even the acceptance of a child to get cleft surgery is for
Mhm.
them to be at a proper weight and to be not malnourished. So
Yeah.
you can imagine the plight of these families or these mothers who have difficulty feeding their babies, but their babies need to be at a certain weight and certain strength to even undergo the surgery. So it's a very complex thing to undertake. And I really loved being able to meet these families because, as you said, it gives you the perspective, not just seeing as the child who needs to have their cleft addressed. You also hear the challenges of the family. You hear how at first, before knowing that Smile Train was there, that they didn't know how to even start in finding the finances needed to treat their child. And in the midst of a pandemic, finding hospital partners that would prioritize that type of thing, when many of the focus of our medical practices are focused on, of course, battling the pandemic, and other illnesses and things that people need. So just being able to hear the stories. There was such a light of hope because a lot of the families, they actually found out through their OBGYN or through their birthing clinic. So you just realize how much that information is so powerful when it's widely spread out and widely dispersed to allow these families to find that answer to the question that they're looking for, to be able to look after their children. Because if I could only put myself in their shoes, to think that I have a child and I don't know how to properly look after them because they have cleft and I may not be able to feed them properly, or they may have breathing problems. You just imagine the anxiety of these families. And so that's why I really do see like how Smile Train is just such a positive light for them and in their lives. And how, even though I met those children who are just starting their treatment, I know that Smile Train will be with them for many years, just to help them and
Mm.
to allow them to grow and find their confidence in their smile.
Yeah. Since you touched on like the mother's perspective a while ago, I'm also wondering like what are the common stigmas that you would wish were broken? Because as a mom, it's like I could only imagine, 'di ba, na parang oh, ano nangyari sa anak mo? Those
Yeah,
stigmas like that as a mother you kind of feel terrible about it, but they shouldn't be because
yeah, they
there is a
definitely shouldn't.
solution. So we
Yeah.
have those specific stigmas because I'm not aware of it that
Mm-mm.
we have to break today.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a stigma that I think many new mothers may feel, is that they did something wrong during their
Mm.
pregnancy, or that there's something wrong with their child, and it's definitely not the case. And the thing is that cleft is so easily treated if only you're with the right partner, and that children are still capable, even when they have cleft, to live a life that's fulfilling, that's full, and it's not going to change their life for the worse. It's really not. Once that's addressed, your child can be as live life to the full, and do everything that they want to do. I think that may be a stigma, especially in areas that are quite rural. When babies with cleft are born, I think there's this perception that there's something wrong with the mother, there's something wrong with the
Yeah.
child, and I really hope that that would not continue, because it defines, I guess, their life, their experience. And a child should look back on their childhood with joy and really be able to feel that joy that comes with being a kid.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Smile Train, because we're allowing children to discover their smile, and to discover that confidence that they are capable, and that they just needed that help in the beginning, but with the right partner they're able to go forward into life, and not really feel like there's anything lacking from them.
Yeah, and it's really important to open up the conversation about this as well and really normalize it because mothers are it's really emotional for mothers. It's like I think if like I will be a mom one day, I can't help but blame myself for everything. But right
Mm-mm.
now we are declaring that no, it's never your fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And your child is going to need you to be that strength for them as they go through the
Yes.
treatments and everything. So just want to reassure those mothers out there that you're doing the best job that you can with your little one, and
Yes.
just finding that right partner will make all the difference.
Definitely. So, do you have other plans to visit more countries as Maltrain's global ambassador? Because I'm sure that they would love to have you there too.
Yes, I would love to. I would love to be able to spread awareness in other countries, and also do that through traveling. Of course, we only do it when it's safe to do so. So it's really about navigating what the next year will be like. But I definitely look forward to it. The thing that I love about traveling to different countries, working with Smile Train, is that I always prove to myself again and again that culture is never a barrier in the work that they do. Language is never a barrier in the work that they do. Everyone is very much the same in their human experience of it, whether that be the family or the child. And so to see that Smile Train is able to address that in such a comprehensive and well-rounded way really just fortifies my belief in their system, and makes me altogether proud to be working with them on the capacity that I do.
Okay, Kat. So I want to touch on all the stakeholders here because we shed light on the perspective of the moms, the children who have cleft or been treated from cleft, and then now I would like you to send a message or a sort of advice naman to people surrounding them because we still need to change the structure of society and how we interact and not isolate these cases as well. So I think that's really important in order to really make greater change. So how can you educate us on how we can approach this?
Yeah, I think it starts on a level of, I guess it happens a lot that people are picked apart by their differences. But it's really sad to imagine that a child would have to go through that at such a young age. Not even after the cleft surgery, but as they go through speech therapy, they may not be able to speak as clear as is normal. They may have trouble pronouncing certain things, and I just know that in many communities that is something to be bullied or to be picked apart. And I just imagine the hurt and the sadness of these kids. And so I guess something that we could all do if we know someone with cleft, or if we go to school with someone who's had cleft surgery, or we know of them, please treat them with kindness, and please don't make them feel like they're any less or they're any different. Because there is a bright mind in that child, and they are just as capable. They just need to overcome this challenge, but in every other aspect, they're just as capable. And they're just as worthy of happiness and love and acceptance as any one of us. So if we could just address it whenever we see it. And I feel like it's also something that really should be represented, not only in our communities, but hopefully in our media, to normalize it, because as we
Yes.
were talking about, it happens everywhere and it affects so many. And so I think that if there were more representatives, or maybe past cleft patients who have overcome that, who are represented in the media, or have a platform that they can show that kind of image that those young kids can look up to, I think that would be great also.
Normalize differences, not
Yeah.
perfection, no? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Logan. And as we mentioned in the beginning of this interview, Christmas is around the corner. And what better way to spend Christmas but to help one another
Yes.
and, give our excess and whatever blessings that we have received, no matter how big or small. And I know that we can help out Smile Train as well. So, do you
Yes.
want to encourage people to lend an extra hand? And in what
Yes,
ways?
Smile Train is offering their holiday gift guide at the moment, which is available on their website, and that would be www.smiletrain.org/holiday-gift-guide. And on there, you'll see different options of what you could gift to our different Smile Train partners. There's food packages for the practices or the medical practitioners to carry out the surgery. There's also tele-speech therapy capsules that sponsor a child's speech therapy class that's facilitated online, which allows them not to have to go into an actual medical center. It allows them to do it safely from their homes. And speech therapy is something very, very important to the treatment of cleft in their comprehensive care plan. And these are small ways that you can give. It ranges from around $15 and up. And it's just a small thing that you can do this Christmas that I know will mean the world to a child somewhere in the world. And will really allow them to have their smile this Christmas. So again, that's smiletrain.org/holiday-gift-guide if you're interested in giving. And for those of you who will give, thank you so much.
There. So share the love this Christmas and donate to a
Yes.
cause. So, especially in this pandemic, which forced us really to reflect what's really important in life, let's find a cause that can be close to our hearts, like Smile Train's
Yeah.
global ambassador, Catriona Gray. Yeah, thank you so much, Catriona, for being an inspiration. And I know that your trip to Colombia for this cause was planned way ahead of time, and then COVID-19 happened. So despite everything that's happening, it's these things that we have no hand over. So you still continue to forward your cause and you remain determined to do it. And I know you had a lot of help from government as well and globally then, like yung mga foreign
Yes.
bodies. So would you like to thank them and acknowledge them right now?
Yeah, of course, a trip at this time to another country was not done without a lot of assistance, also to help us follow the appropriate health protocols. So we'd really like to thank the Department of Foreign Affairs here in the Philippines, the Red Cross Philippines, even the Red Cross Colombia that helped facilitate all of our testing. To make sure that we were keeping everyone safe as well as keeping ourselves safe. Of course, a big shout out of thanks to Smile Train family who was with us in Colombia, specifically Troy Reinhardt, the Senior Vice President of International Development. Thank you so much, Troy, for letting this
Hey,
come
Troy.
together. Yes, and of course, Diane Erquiaga. She is the program director in South America, and she was just fantastic. And of course, Kimmy from here in the Philippines, thank you for allowing it all to really go together smoothly and for really being that voice in the Philippines to help everything come together. Of course, because we work so close together here at home. And also, I do really want to acknowledge Smile Train's partner organization, Fabrica de Sonrisas, which means Factory of Smiles. Founded by Sergio Espinosa and Rosa Paulina de Villa, and their 3 daughters, Mary, Rosa Paulina, and Christy, who was actually born with cleft, and she's the reason that the organization came to be, because their own daughter had cleft, and so they really understood the need for it in the community. So thank you so much for welcoming us and with such a warm way and allowing this trip to be so memorable. And I would love to just, it's one of those, it was honestly one of the highlights of my year. It really was, considering that it was just a way that I could really connect with people in a way. And I feel like that's something that I think a lot of us have been deprived of this time. But being able to connect to people in a different country and to really be able to help them in a small way that I could, it's such fulfilling work. And so I really do thank Smile Train for the opportunity to continue to create a better world, one smile at a time.
And thank you so much, Catriona Gray, for being an ambassador of the world, because, as you touch other people's lives and in other countries now, this time you're still representing the Philippines. So they get a feel of what a Filipina is. So thank you so much for doing that. We are so proud of you. And we can't wait for your future trips pa.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you so much once again, Catriona, for being an inspiration to a lot of us. You may not be Miss Universe anymore, pero forever kang Miss Universe namin. So thank you so much for that. And we wish all of you a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Nicole. Merry Christmas, everyone. Stay safe this holiday season. Sending you all our love.